Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, one of the most iconic figures in the fight against apartheid and a global symbol of peace and reconciliation, was born on July 18, 1918, in the small village of Mvezo in the Eastern Cape of South Africa.
His mother, Nosekeni Fanny, was a devout Christian, and Mandela was raised in the Methodist faith. Mandela received a quality education, attending Clarkberry Boarding Institute and Healdtown, a Wesleyan secondary school, where he excelled academically and athletically. He later enrolled at the University of Fort Hare, the only higher education institution for Black South Africans at the time, to study for a Bachelor of Arts degree. However, his time at Fort Hare was cut short when he was expelled for participating in a student protest against university policies. This early act of defiance foreshadowed his future as a leader in the struggle against oppression. He also began studying law at the University of the Witwatersrand, where he was exposed to the realities of racial inequality and the growing anti-apartheid movement. In 1944, Mandela joined the African National Congress, ANC, a political organization dedicated to fighting for the rights of Black South Africans. Alongside Oliver Tambo, Walter Sisulu, and other activists, he co-founded the ANC Youth League, which sought to invigorate the struggle against apartheid through more militant tactics. Mandela's commitment to the cause deepened as apartheid laws were formalized in 1948, institutionalizing racial segregation and oppression. He became a prominent leader within the ANC, advocating for mass mobilization and civil disobedience. By the early 1960s, the apartheid regime had intensified its crackdown on dissent, and the ANC was banned. Mandela, recognizing the limitations of nonviolent resistance, co-founded Umkhonto we Sizwe, Spear of the Nation, the armed wing of the ANC, in 1961. He traveled abroad to seek support for the anti-apartheid movement, but upon his return in 1962, he was arrested and sentenced to 5 years in prison for incitement and leaving the country illegally. In 1964, during the infamous Rivonia trial, Mandela and several other ANC leaders were sentenced to life imprisonment for sabotage and conspiracy to overthrow the government. Mandela spent the next 27 years in prison, primarily on Robben Island, where he endured harsh conditions and hard labor. During his imprisonment, international pressure on the South African government grew, with calls for Mandela's release becoming a rallying cry for activists worldwide. In the years that followed, Mandela played a pivotal role in negotiating an end to apartheid and establishing a multiracial democracy. He was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993, alongside de Klerk, for their efforts to dismantle apartheid peacefully. Nelson Mandela passed away on December 5, 2013, at the age of 95, in his home in Johannesburg.